Musk's exit exposes Trump's weakness yesterday. Trump's staunchest ally, the key architect, arguably the key architect, of Trump's 2024 presidential victory, Elon Musk, left the Trump team with a heavy heart. Although Trump held a press conference, ostensibly a farewell, to give him some superficial fanfare, the awkward glances between the two men and the deeply uncomfortable atmosphere revealed the truth. Musk, like all loyal and capable ministers throughout history who ultimately find themselves forced to abandon the monarch they sought to protect, seemed to say, "If the ruler lacks wisdom, what use is the minister?" Musk might be a true hero in American history. Not only did he help restore American tradition and push the MAGA agenda, he might be the first figure in U.S. history who genuinely attempted to single-handedly reverse governmental corruption, cleanse over 2 centuries of accumulated rot, and purge the entire Washington establishment and government system. He aimed to confront the nation's corruption head-on alone. Such a man, such a lone hero, yet tragically, he could not turn the tide. Why? Because the Democrats are too powerful and too corrupt. Their crimes are too horrifying. Once Musk was unleashed, once he was allowed to push his entire drain the swamp and dog movement forward, those exceptionally corrupt elements, rare even in American or human history, would face utter destruction. They naturally couldn't allow that, fighting tooth and nail to destroy Musk. The corruption of the Democrats is too vast to enumerate. Just 2 simple examples are chilling. The first is Bill Clinton. Nixon's Watergate scandal, merely installing a wiretap, shook the nation, forcing his resignation, seemingly the pinnacle of political corruption. But consider Clinton, bringing the 18-year-old Monica Lewinsky into his office, having sex with her on the Resolute desk, a questionable encounter bordering on assault, a depravity reminiscent of Nero. For an ordinary person, this could mean life imprisonment or even the death penalty. If impartially investigated, it might have been the greatest presidential scandal in U.S. history, the president held to the strictest moral standard. But with Democrats in power, the Congress, the administration, the Justice Department, all let it slide, no accountability. More terrifyingly, Clinton lied to the nation and the world on television about his misconduct, yet Congress didn't pursue him for perjury. The entire Clinton family emerged unscathed. The second staggering corruption, Hunter Biden's laptop. The records of bribes, debauchery, and activities involving underage girls found on it constitute perhaps the most damning evidence imaginable. Yet the Democrats deployed a sinister tactic. They recruited 51 former Democratic intelligence officials to publicly lie in newspapers, lying to the American people, denying the laptop's authenticity, slandering Trump, and falsely claiming it was Russian disinformation. Through this maneuver, evidence that should have destroyed Biden and the Democratic Party was suppressed, enabling Biden's illegitimate election. Such election theft, tampering, and interference would be treasonous in any country, yet in America, they remain unpunished. Facing such a crime-ridden party, confronting a corrupt deep state of over 2 million, Musk charged forward fearlessly. More superhuman than Superman, he risked his entire fortune, $400 billion, to fight this corruption, to purge these elements, to truly restore America. Frankly, he aimed to help save America from descending into hell. But as Musk's dog team dug deeper, they uncovered horrifying realities. Among 2.5 million federal employees, countless are blatant embezzlers and fraudsters, potentially wasting not just 1 or 2 trillion, but tens of trillions in federal funds. Yet Musk fought essentially alone. Had he received steadfast support from Trump, Congress, and the Supreme Court, his mission might have succeeded. Unfortunately, Congress acted sluggishly and half-heartedly, riddled with corruption, including many Republicans, who also feared Doge. The Supreme Court was shrouded in shadows and fog, concealing unknown levels of corruption. Then there was Trump. Trump initially seemed resolved to support Musk, but within his second-term team, we now see more deep state operatives and sinister forces obstructing Trump's agenda, including efforts against Musk. Musk faced constant, covert attacks upon joining. Whenever Trump showed support, undercurrents of opposition immediately surfaced. Slowly, Trump's backing became lukewarm, inconsistent, evasive, devoid of any clear, concrete, decisive plan. Musk quickly realized this. Despite repeated efforts, he couldn't achieve his goals or change Trump. Trump's weakness lies in being a figure like Shakespeare's King Lear, grand ambitions undermined by incompetence, coupled with a weak character, unable to distinguish friend from foe or good from evil. His vision is vast, his rhetoric bold, but his execution falters. Faced with problems or opposition, he retreats. Listening to negative advisors, he flip-flops, rendering his policies erratic and directionless. This is his core flaw. Thus, Musk faced a King Lear, an ineffectual leader beyond saving. He was powerless to reverse the situation. In Trump's second term, his inner circle appears chaotic. While some members seem strong-willed, most act impulsively, without strategy or logic, acting on whims, scattering just as quickly. Their planning and execution resemble headless chickens, lacking firmness, systematic progress, or adherence to law and order. For instance, figures like Kash Patel, FBI director, show little decisive action. Reports suggest he spends more time clubbing than fulfilling promises to overhaul the FBI overnight or aggressively pursue criminals nationwide. He hasn't become Trump's strong enforcer. We also see Trump's Treasury and Commerce secretaries offering terrible advice on tariffs. Every time Trump pushes a tariff plan, they dissuade him, leading to immediate reversals. Constant flip-flopping. Consequently, no one, domestically or internationally, believes Trump will actually impose tariffs anymore. No one believes he's playing some grand strategic game. Trump's Treasury Secretary, Besant, appears incompetent at best, possibly foolish. Perhaps he made some lucky money on Wall Street, but he clearly lacks the capability to lead the Treasury or manage national tariff policy. For example, he advised Trump to raise tariffs on China to 145%, then strutted into negotiations only to slash them by 135% to 10%. Later, he nonsensically floated, adding another 20% fentanyl tariff, baffling everyone. Negotiations aim to raise leverage, not surrender it. Dropping from 145% to 30% or 10% is pure farce, worthy of a Seinfeld episode. Ultimately, Trump is being played by these jokers. But the root cause is Trump himself, his character. His first term was plagued by saboteurs. His second term should have learned from this. Yet competent people remain sidelined, while mediocrity fills the room. This fundamentally stems from Trump's own flaws. His weakness, his lack of steadfast purpose, and crucially, his inability to identify enemies or allies. He regards dictators who constantly mock, manipulate, and deceive him as his best friends. This alone reveals him as a King Lear figure, grandiose but incompetent, blind to good and evil, friend and foe. His tragedy may ultimately mirror Lear's.